came up in the sport in the mid 90s, or early 90s. Your son, 30 years later, literally a generation later. What are some of the things you're seeing that he's dealing with as a NASCAR driver that you didn't have to deal with when you were coming up?
That's a great question. Every sport changes, and technology has really had an influence in every sport. If you think about how athletes train today versus how they trained 30 years ago, it's a completely different environment. Even to the point where 30 years ago, I think, Tim, it's fair to say that a lot of drivers weren't even training. Like, it was like kind of an optional thing. And now these drivers, I compare them to NFL quarterbacks, because the amount of film study that they do, the amount of planning they do, the amount of time they spend in the simulators. The manufacturers, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, have spent millions and millions and millions of dollars creating simulators so drivers can sit in a simulated race car before showing up to the racetrack. There's things like that we didn't even consider. I mean, think about it. We had Frogger, right? We didn't have, we didn't have this incredible amount of technology. So that technology has created an opportunity for drivers to spend an exorbitant amount of time preparing for the upcoming race. We put the VHS in and watched the replay of the race, and we sat down and had a meeting with our team. Now you have all the data pouring out of the car that you can compare you and another driver. Like, it's endless.
You talked about watching videos. I think of all the times I was in the McDonald's hauler visiting with Bill. The only thing I actually saw on was Stroker Ace. I don't know how many times I watched that, but he watched it at least 1 million times more than I did.
Slide Torkel's Chicken Pit, right?
Yeah, that's right.